Just got out of the Hamilton County Jail. Here's what happens next, quickly. So after you are released from jail, a few things are going to happen right away. First is you may be served with a no contact order, depending on the nature of the case. If there are civilian witnesses or victims or anything like that, they're going to put a no contact order so that you cannot talk to that person while the case is pending. So once you're released from jail in Hamilton County, there's a good chance you're going to meet with pretrial services before leaving the jail. What they do is get good contact for you so that they can keep in touch with you, remind you of court dates, things of that nature. A lot of times they will do this instead of having a bond posted. Now, sometimes you may still have to post a bond, but they're trying to move away from that a little bit in Hamilton County. They'll also give you an initial hearing date. And at that initial hearing, what happens is they go over the charges you're facing, the possible penalties, and if it's applicable, they will also advise you of no contact orders on your case. A no contact order means just that. You cannot have contact with certain people. Usually these are alleged victims or witnesses in a case that they don't want you talking to about your case while the case is pending. This is to protect both the victims in the case, and also it helps protect the state's case so that they don't want you to influence the case in any way. So if a no contact order is placed against you, make sure you don't have contact with that person. If you do, a new charge could be filed called invasion of privacy. And that's the last thing you need when a case is pending, another case being charged. You may have your bond revoked, and it makes your current case much more difficult. So if a no contact order is placed, make sure you abide by it. After that initial hearing, you'll have a series of pretrial conferences. Pretrial conferences are sort of check-in dates with the court to make sure the case is progressive, making sure the discovery or evidence is going back and forth between the parties so that if the case does go to a trial, both parties are prepared to proceed to a trial. It's also a chance for the parties to negotiate a plea agreement or a plea negotiation. You are not bound to take a plea, but I have an ethical obligation to go over a plea with you and try to negotiate the lowest plea outcome possible, just to give you the best options possible. So that's kind of what to expect at those pretrial conferences. There will also be maybe a final pretrial conference set. This is sort of a last check-in date before a possible trial date, either a bench trial, meaning just in front of a judge, or a jury trial in front of a jury of your peers. If you want a jury trial and it is a misdemeanor case, it is imperative. It is so important to let us know right away, because especially in Hamilton County, there is a deadline almost immediately after your case is filed for us to notify the court of that. You are not automatically entitled to a jury trial on a misdemeanor case, so we need to know so we can request it right away. So that's something kind of unique to Hamilton County, those immediate trial settings that we have those deadlines on. We don't see that in every county, but we do see it in Hamilton. So if you have a case in Hamilton County, we need to know about your desires for how to proceed with the case immediately. Now, there's some common mistakes we see in Hamilton County besides missing that jury trial deadline. We see people sometimes miss court because they're not aware, do they need to go? Always check with us leading up to court dates to make sure you do or do not need to go, and we will let you know. Because in Hamilton County, oftentimes the first court date is informal, meaning you won't need to appear. That's a common mistake we see. We don't want people to appear in court when they didn't need to take a day off work and they didn't need to be there, because oftentimes we handle that on your behalf. Sometimes people get confused about whether that's just the first date or every date. So that's why just before any court date, give us a call, shoot us a text, check in with us, and we can let you know if you need to be there or not. Other common mistakes we see are people who aren't supposed to be drinking alcohol. Maybe they violate by picking up a positive breath test or something like that if they're on alcohol monitoring. That's something that's going to create an issue in the case. Another issue we see sometimes, people posting online about the case. You don't want to share information with anyone besides your attorney. And on that note, if you're in custody still, don't talk to any friends or family members about the case over the jail phone calls. Those are all recorded. So it's important to only talk about the case to your attorneys. So we can absolutely help out with cases in Hamilton County. One of the biggest issues we see with people who aren't working with us is they complain about a lack of communication. You'll never have that issue with us. You will have our phone numbers, our email addresses, and a phone conference link to stay in contact with us anytime you have questions. We will talk to you about a plan for the case right away. So give us a call after you've hired, after we've gotten a chance to review the discovery. Let's set up a phone conference and talk about a case map, kind of where we expect it to go, and next steps we can take together to achieve the best outcome for you. So if you have a case in Hamilton County, first thing that's the most important is give us a call as soon as you can. 317-632-3642. And the second thing, and never forget this one, is always plead the fifth.